traveling, whom do you love, and what would be your intro song? All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do. Well,
good morning, Melissa.
Hi! How are you? Good morning. Boker Tov. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I threw Hebrew in there. What was that face?
What's Boker Tov?
Boker Tov, it just means good morning.
Sounds like pimp your ride. It just means good morning.
Pimp your ride.
Boker Tov. I will
Good morning,
boke it.
everybody. Pimp your ride. Oh, what's a good one? I'm picturing everybody at those little Jewish summer camps going, pimp your ride at breakfast instead of Boker Tov.
I gotcha. Well.
How are you, Amesicle? Amesicord?
Amesicord is good. I am still slogging through the aftermath of a very aggressive new business building brief little period that I engaged in. I raised my hand for one of these contests where you want to go out and stimulate a whole bunch of business and earn a lot of money in a short time period. Well, I did it and I was really successful and it was great. Now I have to actually do all that work that I just
Right, that you committed to? Right. Follow through. Fuck.
So I'm still deep in the throes of completing all that shiz, which I don't like because it means things like I've already been working for 2 hours before seeing you bright and early on a Sunday morning.
Boker Tov.
Boker Tov. So, God, what does that even mean?
Tov.
What's Bogue? Bogue.
Well, you know Tov is good.
I don't.
You say
Now
Mazel
I do.
Tov.
Okay.
No, you say Mazel Tov to people, and that's really good luck. But
I
Tov
thought
is
Mazel
good.
was the good part
Mazel's the luck.
because people sometimes go muzzle, and I thought that meant like good, goody.
Luck.
Luck.
So Tov means good.
Okay.
So Boker is morning.
Okay, got it.
But I like yours better.
Boker
Tov.
Boker
Yeah,
Tov,
I like that better.
man.
I like-
love some Boker Tov.
Go Boker Tov.
Bring it.
Was it a good weekend for you?
Yes.
Weekend? You're very hesitant. That is the least committal you have ever given me for something good. You've committed more and heavier and stronger to bad things than you did to something good.
I'm sticking with yes. That's a yes.
A cautionary yes. I'll take that. Because it sure beats most other answers. So I'll take it.
I have a lot of things flying all around my face. The challenge here is that everything is spinning in its own little orb. None of them are connected. And I'm trying to juggle them, and I don't know how to juggle. Can't even describe it to you. I don't feel like there's any area of my life when I can be like, well, that's making sense, right? I'm not about control. I never have control. Yeah.
What about moving forward in the right direction?
No. Moving
No.
backward in lots of directions,
Ooh.
moving sideways in all the directions, into
Moving
universes where you're
serpentine.
serpentine. I got
Right.
chicanery going on, all the things, right? Diagonally. It's a giant chessboard of fuck
Or
right now.
Diagon Alley?
Diagonally. Are you
Wait, what did he just say?
kidding? That is the first time I've ever put together that Diagon Alley is diagonally. Ever.
Oh, seriously?
Yes. I was
So why do you
today
think
years
he
old.
splitches? Why do you think he splitches on his way? Is that what it's called? On his way through when he goes to travel in flu powder and he says,
Ron got splinched.
what do you say? What did he just say? I think he said diagonally. No, it's Diagon Alley.
Oh, I
Yeah.
just thought he said it funny. I still didn't put it together.
I'm glad to have been here and been a part of this realization.
I'm not the only
a Harry
one.
Potter
I'm
realization.
not the only one. Raise your hands, guys. Wherever you are right now, in your car, on your walk, on your pedophile. What's it fucking called?
What?
I was trying to think bike, pedo, and then I went to the wrong one.
You sure did. Come back. Yeah, if you can, come back.
Let me just do some audience cleanup here. I'm engaging with you right now, pedophiles. If you're listening, you are no longer welcome. Disengage, unsubscribe.
And stop what you're doing.
Go away. You're not a part of our community. We disavow you. You're wrong. You're bad. Feel shame. Go to the authorities. Okay, we're back.
And by the way, diagonally sounds a lot like Diagon Alley. So I hope you got that on your way to surrender yourself.
I mean, it's
to the
really
authorities.
important to have a position on pedophiles. I feel like not enough brands are doing that these days. So, bully for us for taking a stand.
I feel if they were asked, they would have a stance, but I don't think enough people are asked on the regular how they feel
I have
about
such a
pedophiles.
strong position on it that I sadly cannot even listen to Michael Jackson anymore. I have to every time he comes up in any conversation, I have retrained myself to remove all of that joy from my life just in solidarity to it would not be okay if that was my kid who was victimized.
Solidarity to the parents who put their small children in homes with him by themselves,
solidarity
and in beds with him by themselves.
Solidarity to the person. Solidarity to the kids. Solidarity to the victims.
Got
the victims. Because if I was the victim or someone that I super loved was the victim, would it ever be okay to be just tapping my toes and mama say, mama sa, mama poosa? No,
but
I'm
I
sorry.
do love how you just did like an almost toast to the victims. To the bride, to the victims who will never be
pedophiled. Yeah.
And this is our musical episode. Yada da 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 da. Your sister
you really
Rose
don't
is
get
dead.
this kind of pedophiliacal humor anywhere else. I'm trying to tell you. Only here, folks. One more way we're unique.
And you're welcome. There's no need to thank us. Thank us by telling a friend or going to brilliantobservations@gmail.com, like I'm throwing it in right at the top, or to Brillub Squad, or on Facebook, Brilliant Observations on Facebook, or Listen Brilliant on Instagram. We got some interesting content there too. I did forget to put out that penis cake on time, but it's still early enough. I will send it. I will put it on Brill Up Squad because I had my thumb hovering and then shit went sideways. But as my thumb is hovering over the penis cake, I think, is this really what we want representing us on our page before we put something else out?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You said yes?
Yeah, maybe I went too fast.
Was that a yes?
Penis cake.
Yes to all?
Yeah, I feel like the penis cake in Brill Up Squad. I feel like you come for the jokes, you stay for the penis cake.
In the squad.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the squad.
Oh yeah. In the Brill Up Squad. And here's another tip, gang. See what I did there? Penis tip, because they go together.
Just the tip.
Right?
Here's just a tip.
When you visit Brill Ob Squad, which is a group on Facebook, you can post there too, as some of our intrepid dear listeners have done. And I love reading that stuff. That's very fun.
Yeah.
So
it's very enjoyable.
So
it's your community. Just so you know, it's your community. These are your people.
Sorry.
I mean, they're our people, but they're your people too. Hey, there's been a lot of baseball going on, and
okay, sure.
I'm not the largest baseball fan. I'll pick it up mid to end season if my team, we won't talk about who that is really the victor. Hello, Victor. But there's a series between right now the Phillies and the Mets, and my husband's watching it. There was one last week too, and blah, 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 blah. Sure.
Okay.
All of these players come out to their own theme song. They choose a song that they would like to walk out to the mound, hit to. Like, so what is your song? I'm wondering, Amy, what would your song be?
In life, or were I a professional baseball player?
I am not taking people on the imaginary walk of if you were a baseball player.
Why
I'm
not?
Just saying,
okay, but in both cases, I think it's going to be Jump Around, because the intro is so
jump up and
fucking
get down.
killer.
That one? Jump
pack
around,
it up, pack it in.
jump around.
Let me begin. Yes, I think that's hilarious. I love it. And you don't stop. You got to use, now you're bouncing. Probably that, or something that I always come back to is I Know a Place. It's called I Take You There by the Staple Singers.
I Know a Place. Yeah. That
lovely. Seems like I could do some groove jive. And now I could come walking in, do my little slide, little finger snap. Here I come. I mean, I'm making an entrance, right? It's about me making an entrance. This is the...
Yeah, so like if you are going to a convention and you're walking to the exhibitors floor and they see you come in, or if you are giving a presentation at a meeting and you just want a little something playing before your first slide, or just whatever it is to bring you into a room.
My usual go-to is Shake Your Tail Feather is another one.
I like that.
That I definitely like because I don't know, man. I like some upbeat songs that are silly and full of bounce.
Yeah, I like that you're going directly to that 1991 Jock Jams album that I used to use to wake my kids up in the morning. And I used to, the kids are like,
crisscross
Reveille
will
is
make
fine.
you jump.
Jump.
Everything
Yeah.
is with jumping with me. I guess I'm a jumper.
I'm literally the opposite of a jumper. So I think
what
I
are
need
you
to
doing,
walk
like
in beside
Karen
you.
Carpenter? Like, what are you picking for your intro song? Come on.
I would like for you to never take her name in mockery again.
It's not mockery. I'm just saying, are they sliding you in on a rocking chair? Like, how are you entering into this? What would you pick, Yacht Rock? Where are we going?
I love Yacht Rock.
Sticks?
More so like America.
Dreamweaver?
But yeah, like I love that shit.
Been to a conference on a horse with no name?
I think you've been listening to my station, and yes, I love it. But I think if I needed a little bit more of a hype, I would throw in "My Milkshake Brings All the Boys Together." It's my ringtone. It's my ringtone. So I think it would be really identifiable for me. So I think that's what I went with. But as you give me some Christopher Cross, some America, some like that shit just resonates. But I don't know that it's my I'm here, let's play. Like, I think Milkshake is more of I hear the intro and I'm like, here I come.
Glamorous life. Yep.
I listen to these old, really getting older by the minute, sportscasters, and they're like, oh, look who changed his intro song.
What?
Oh, this is kind of nice. What is it? I'm like, Kellis? Like, what do you...
Okay, I don't know
what
who
do you want
Kellis
to know?
is.
Who is that? Well, Milkshake. But who's Lizzo? Like, what?
Oh, God.
Lizzo's got, like, I like her Boys song. I could walk into that, too. It depends. I guess you said it. It depends on the venue.
Yeah, it's
into
about
which you're
damn time.
walking.
Killer intro. Right?
I love that song more than most, and not for that little break in it. In a minute, I'm Anita. Not for that reason. I think Lizzo just brought disco back with that song.
Possibly.
And I find so much joy. Turn up the music, turn down the lights. Yes, yes, yes. I want it all. Ooh, I want it all. Like show tunes. No, I'm sticking with Milkshake and almost anything by Lizzo.
I feel like this is the listener participation video. I don't see how Milkshake is your right. It's just not comprehensive enough.
All right, dear listener, 2 questions for you. I'm sure Amy posted the last poll that we told her to post.
I'll take your poll. I don't even remember what it was. So
she'll take just the tip of your poll.
Hey! I'll take it all. Yeah.
What, dear listener, write us immediately. Pull over. Pull over right now. Write us immediately. What would you want your intro song to be? And are you offended by Melissa choosing Milkshake?
Okay. I don't know if offended would be.
Am I close? I don't know about offended. But are you
Yes.
shocked, surprised? Really, we're less interested in you insulting Melissa and more interested in you.
We're building on it. You know, we're starting from somewhere and we're building
telling
on it.
us
Yes.
What is your intro song?
I don't think. I'm trying to think.
This past weekend, I mean, I've told you guys previously, all of you, that my kids are leaving this week, right? So as you listen to this on Thursday, I am mid-drive to Pittsburgh to drop off my second child because yesterday will have been dropping off the first child at college.
And you will be a puddly, gooey mess.
As I careen into the empty nest wall. So Thursday, here we are. I'm dropping off my second child to college, which leaves me, Amy thinks super weepy, me even closer to that second act that frustrates me. So knowing they're leaving, this past weekend, I took them to the beach, kicking and screaming. I want to be clear.
I don't understand these kids.
I know. Well, I understand them, but I never spoke to my parents the way my kids speak to me. Was so contrary all the fucking time. No, I'm not going. I won't do this. I don't want that. Eat without me. Like all of the go fuck yourself that oozes out of their pores, I never would have done. And I tolerate to a certain degree, but I finally said, every year, dear listener, my family sends out a magnet with our family's picture on it. So if you've gotten them for the last 15 years, you could have a refrigerator watching my kids go through all of their stages. If you put, I guess if you still have a magnetic refrigerator, which most people don't, I see the growth and it's just the holiday card we send out every year. So I said, we're getting a picture and we're getting it at the beach. And nobody's skin is crawling more than Melissa's because I fucking hate the beach. It's a tar and feathering that nobody wants. So I don't want to go. I don't have to go to the beach. Why can't it just be home? Okay, we're going. Get in the fucking car. So I drive them down there, and we're a day of going to the beach, and my son's like, I don't have anything to wear. Well, you knew
Are you going to find it in the empty drawers at the beach?
Right. So Stuart's like, let's go to the outlets and go shopping, which is his dream come true and my children's fucking nightmare.
I would rather be covered
Anywhere.
with red ants. Yeah, no.
Honey and red ants.
Thanks. Yep. Gross.
Which is the beach to me, which is sweat and sand. It's the same thing to me. You might as well say that. So you don't have anything to wear. Fantastic. Why did you think we were coming to the beach? You want a picture? Yes. I don't know what came before the word picture, but yes, that's what. So blah, blah, blah. I finally get everybody on board almost for taking these pictures. So we figure there's ideal times to take pictures, right? There's the golden hour. You know, the sun is almost about to set and immediately the beach fucking lights up. I love the golden hour at the beach. I love it on the boardwalk. I love that view of just the way the sky, the water, the sand. When you go at 7:30 at night towards the end of the summer, it is not bright in a way that hurts you. It's glorious. You've been there, dear listener. You know, I'm the only one, Amy told me, who hates the beach.
Correct.
You've been there and you know it.
Valid.
Everybody's left. There's maybe one family left throwing a football. There's probably like a yellow lab running around in the sand and flipping over and rubbing his delicious little fur in piles of wet sand, which I only think about showering off of him. But it's just happiness at that point. There's no sweaty kid there dripping and fire engine red from too much sun. All that shit is gone. All the misery is gone. The joy comes at 7:30. I get us all out there, and then starts the whining and complaining. You guys love the beach. I'm the one who hates it, and I'm the one who's here with a smile. We finally found clothes for the boy and his father's closet and my belt to hold him together. We're really held together like by gum and, I don't know, rubber cement at this point. We took some amazing pictures.
Oh, thank God.
And they were going to hire a photographer for my 50th birthday. I'm like, I have an iPhone. I have an iPhone. And I said, we can absolutely do this. I caught 3 people. Remember we talked about guessing people's situations? 2 50, 60-year-old men and a 60-year-old woman. That's the same situation that was in the house that was renting. Dear listener, what the fuck is going on with 2 men and a woman? Don't talk to me like I'm an idiot. I know. Am I right? Like, tell me right now what their situation was. And I said, are you so exhausted from an amazing day at the beach that you don't have 5 seconds to take a picture of my family? You are responsible for our holiday card if you want credit. Like, I'll give you photo credit. They dropped their shit immediately and started posing us and taking pictures. It was fantastic.
I always do that. I did it yesterday.
Did you?
I was having the worst day that I've had in a very long time. So bad that I was vibrating with irritation and I was not able to shake it. I've gotten into a place where I can feel it coming on and I don't allow it. You know, I want to stay away from that. Life is very good for me. So to feel like shit is just making me so enraged for a sustained period, something's really wrong. And I was in that moment. I was walking over a giant pedestrian footbridge from where I had come to where my car was parked. And there are these 2 people standing there with a timer with their phone perched on the edge of the bridge, like ready to drop into the water.
No.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Just what are you doing? And I was
You're doing it wrong. Whatever it is.
I was hot. I was irritated. And I just
I cannot stop. I must creative direct this.
I stopped. I said, did you get the one you wanted? And I was so pissed. I barely could say it in a nice way. That's about as kind as I said it. Did you get the one you wanted? And they said, no, can you blah, 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 blah. So we turned them around and I held the thing and I took like 9 pictures and her phone sucked. So I had to take all kind of pictures. And I'm like, why don't you take a look at this one and see what you, oh, no, can you maybe, oh, wait, that one's perfect. That's perfect. Great. And I mean, they were a little bit ugly. So it was like not even easy to get a good picture. They got a beautiful picture. And I didn't take joy in this. I just feel like this is my cosmic responsibility as we all share as humans. When someone is going past you and when you encounter people trying to take a picture, you have to offer. You just do. It's just part of being a human.
When we toured all of those colleges with the firstborn, we passed all these families that were trying to take their selfies. And, we're a family of 3 or 4 as we're walking, and we're just trying to get out of there. The hot. We've been touring it's summer.
When you're already fucking done.
So the fact that you did it, I'm thrilled with you. To the point where Ethan and I were walking, and Stuart looks at us with like big puppy dog eyes when he sees somebody. We're like, all right, go ahead. Did you want me to take that picture for you? Before we finish, go ahead. He's the guy who always offers. Did you want to get in the picture too? I'll take it of all of you.
I'm quite impressed that you made all these preparations and went to the beach without a tripod and a timer. Your plan was, I will find another human.
Or clothes for the children.
At twilight, at the perfect beach, at the golden hour at the beach. I will find some willing schlep and entrust my future memories to their clicker finger. That's a lot.
My friend Fugazi taught me that people love to help.
People do love to help, even when people have to help. I had to help. I did not love to help.
I did not want to.
No, I did not want to. I did not love it. I have to. Everyone has to in that situation. So, knowing this, accept it, because this is, and now the fact that I did this, I'm paying universal chits forward to the next time that I really need somebody to take my beach photo at golden hour and they're covered with sweat and there's 2 ticks climbing up their backside. They will still stand there and gleefully take the fucking picture.
Sea lice. Yeah, it was kind of amazing that I even, and they don't want to be there. Then, of course, my son turns to me and said, hey, if we go tonight,
she's showing the pictures, you guys. She's showing the pictures, you guys. That's
if we go tonight, can we leave tonight and go home and not go home tomorrow?
Yeah, because nothing says home. Nothing says beach like let's leave. What's the matter with these people?
They just wanted not to be there.
Oh, my God. These pictures are so good. They're so beautiful.
So we took some really they look so happy. In reality, all they want, I don't believe pictures anymore. I don't believe pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a moment in time when everything was fucking angry and wanting to go home and I hate you. And
you're a liar.
Yeah, I don't rely on that at all.
Happy Hanukkah from the liars.
And Boker Tov to you too.
Boker Tov, fucker.
Bok your Tov. That's perfect.
That one is going in my all-time Hall of Fame of greetings, like one that I really meant at the time, and now every time I say it, I just laugh my head off because I super, super meant it. I said, namaste, cunt. And I really,
okay.
I'm like, I don't think those things go together.
Have you been hanging out with my daughter? That used to be her favorite word.
Oh.
So there is a word that my daughter hates. Can't hear, can't say, can't.
We all have that same word.
Cringe word, right? Cringe word. Hers is the word squirt.
Oh, not M and I'll spare us. Not the M word.
I'm not a huge fan of the word moist.
You get a physical reaction.
But
it's a visceral physical response to the word.
There's no time to use the word moist that you can't use the word dewy. And dewy's a much funnier word and not gross.
I don't know that I have a dewy sponge in the kitchen sink. No. Or a dewy towelette. Now I do. Oh my God. That is so stupid. I'm so excited. I love you. Oh, you bring such joy and value to my days. Thank you, friend.
Dewy. So I hear, she's leaving
for college. Dewy towelette.
Well, yes.
Do you have a partially saturated towelette? No, dewy. Dewy's the one.
Give me a minute. I'll make it dewy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Especially if you squirt.
Yikes.
Much better.
Okay.
So knowing full well that she hates that word, what did I do?
Buy a case of squirt soda and have it sent to her dorm room.
You are very close. She doesn't drink soda. She doesn't drink soda, but I did go on to LL Bean and get her a boat and tote, enormous tote to take to college that I had monogrammed. Do you want to know what the monogram says?
I bet it doesn't say "boke your toe."
I bet you it doesn't say Dewey. So I'm going to pack that. She doesn't know about it yet. I'm going to pack that and I'm going to put in 3 tubes of Pringles and I'm just going to fill it with all of the stuff. So she has to look at it. I find that here's how I learned to drive a stick. I went in a parking lot for 8 minutes with my husband who yelled at me in the winter in an icy lot, learning how to drive it. And then he bought a new car because he was getting a new car. So he gets a new car. It's not time to turn in the old one yet. We have 2 stick cars that I don't drive. I have my own car. We have 2 stick cars. And he says, my brother's going to take my car for the last 3 months of the lease. You need to drive it to Pennsylvania from Connecticut. And I said, oh, I don't drive stick. Remember that 8 minutes in the Stop and Shop parking lot where you thought you were going to kill me? Yeah, I thought you were going to kill me, but okay. So we just drove. We both got in cars following each other. I white-knuckled it from Connecticut to Pennsylvania. The only way, my point in this story, oh my God, I remembered the thread that brings me back. Follow me. You following?
I'm hanging on.
That word is a word she cannot tolerate, hand or standle. Stand or handle.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, I just had a stroke. And
wow. At the start of the story or now? Keep going.
So if
I'm
she
so
is
this is fascinating.
sitting at her desk doing homework and looks over at this enormous tote bag constantly that says that word, it's exposure. My husband says it's flooding, and I'm going to flood you with a word that makes you crazy or driving stick for 4 hours. Your choice. I do have to say, though, when we went through toll booths, he went ahead of me and paid. So all I had to do was just roll right through it.
Okay, and now I'm going to do a reference to the middle of the preamble that you think you're getting ready to cut out because it's hilarious.
Oh, no, I hate it when you do this. I can't cut it out.
You can't cut it out. Because my darling, darling friend, I don't understand how you ever, either of you, thought it would be okay in a marital situation to have one of you teach the other to drive stick. He's not a teacher. I mean, if he was an automobile instructor, maybe. If he was an instructor of any type, trainer by nature, maybe. You're in a co-equal partnership here. So when you sit in a car and one of you has information the other doesn't have, and it's life-saving information, and also doesn't know how to properly provide you with this information and wants to put all the blame of, here, do it. You don't know how? Why? I just showed you. Terrible dad, terrible dad. I mean, it's like he's either going to have to be a dad to you. No.
Not having it.
There's no scenario where this works out. And we're gonna jump over that one and go all the way to, how'd you get to be a fucking adult? You can't drive a stick shift a car. Come on now.
Yeah,
what you gonna tell me next? I can't swallow a pill. I can't drink a glass of water. Like, there's some shit you gotta learn. That's it. Don't come at me with can't swim. I swear, Sharon, you piss me off with your flawed setup. What were you doing when you were not teaching her to swim or drive a stick shift car? What's next? I can't cut a steak. Like, what? I don't get it. These are some of the things that you just have to acquire. So now you're trying to tell me you still can't drive a stick.
I can technically, but I'm broken from that experience.
Technically
I don't
is
ever
fine.
Want to.
Technically is fine.
Technically can.
Technically is fine. You don't have to be a good swing dancer, right? You have to know how to dance. You don't have to know every waltz or the quadrille or any of these other fucking dances. But you have to
watching Bridgerton again.
You have to know how to fucking do something. You got to get in the game, right? You got to know how to shoot a basket. You don't have to hit them all. That's
Are you
just
going to
what I'm
bust
saying.
out into High School Musical right now?
I just watched Hustle last night, the movie Hustle.
Did you love it?
I did, because we were trying to pick something to watch, and it was just the little one, my husband and I, and all the things that we were landing on, we would get 2 out of 3 want, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. They came up with Hustle, and they had both seen it. And I said, well, I'm not going to watch something you've already seen. And Brian put his foot down and said, you cannot exist another moment on this planet if you have not seen this movie. We're watching it right now. And I'm glad
they
he
loved
did.
it too, because
Oh,
saw
yeah,
it a
yeah,
second
yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah. More than a second time, I bet. It was fan-fucking-tastic. I would say
Recommend.
top 10 sports movies of all time. Top 10. And it's really because I could give a fuck about basketball. Don't care. Don't know any of the players. Don't know any of the truth of it. The script, mediocre. The script was not great. The way that this thing was shot, visually, it's one of the best that you will ever see. It was beautiful, engaging, exciting, on the edge of your seating.
And
it was,
Queen Latifah's in it.
and she's fucking hot and kind and gorgeous. And Adam Sandler with his big, sad, I'm kind of depressed beard. Everything was fantastic. It
And
was
age
really
appropriate. We're not making him, 20 years younger with makeup and trying to make you believe that women are falling over themselves because he's such a cat. Like, it was very real.
The name of
It
the
was-
movie says it all. It was a portrait of hustle in many acts, because you had everybody in that movie exhibiting different versions and interpretations of that thought. And it was just charming. It was just charming all the way around.
Movie Time, brought to you by Brilliant Observations. Don't be caught on the outside of that one. Definitely go see it. We talked last time about generic and brand name things. Have you thought of anything that you're willing to buy generic?
Well, I am embarrassed to say I can't really think of anything that's generic that I value. Here's the, I don't know why I keep hesitating in between every word. I'm like Barack Obama-ing this sentence. We happen to have store brand, which I call generic, store brand horseradish in the house right now. And I hate it. I hate using it every time. I hate it.
Huh.
It's the only one they have. They only have store
Oh.
brand horseradish. And I need fucking horseradish, and we go through it, and that's it. You get one, unless you go to the specialty store, which is nonsense. I'm just trying to buy some fucking horseradish. Why do we not have this? I don't get it, right? Even to the point where they have two. They have like a generic, and then they have the store brand. So it's like you don't even have real horseradish. You just have shit or shittier. Anyway.
Or I have to make it myself?
Well,
Yeah.
I would never make horseradish myself. I wouldn't.
Because you're not a Jew. Jews do that.
We just buy the horseradish root, grate it, and what do you mix it with? Vinegar and water, I would guess. From
Evil and sadness. Yes, those two are involved.
Is
in
that how
making
you make it?
horseradish.
I'm completely have
Evil
no
and
idea
sadness.
how to make it. Is that how you do it?
No, I think you just on the shredder for 100
So
hours.
it is. It's
until-
just the root grated in its own juice.
I don't use, make, or eat it. So I don't know.
Now I'm thinking, why do I not just make my own That sounds really easy and fresh and delicious. Why wouldn't I make it myself? Okay, so now I'm going to make horseradish by myself.
So no, there are no generics or store brand. Store brand is generic. Store brand is
Fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like an Acme brand, I think of as maybe a step above. There used to be one that was generic anywhere. Like it didn't even have Acme on it. Like
It said no frills.
you
it was
would
a
pay-
white box with a blue and red stripe on the bottom of it, and it literally said no frills.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what we had growing up, and that's the brand we had growing up.
Off-brand sucks.
I don't
Off-brand is
see-
like it's like those Hydrox fucking cookies. Those are not Oreos. I'm sorry. They're
I don't
just
even. Do they
not.
even make those anymore?
They sure do.
Really?
Yup.
I did do that Target run, and I bought non-brand name meds for my kids. I'm like Tylenol, Tylenol-ish, Advil, Advil-ish, and I got them the ish brands.
I've just got to jump in. I feel I need to protect myself with the reality that it really only comes to CPG to packaged goods, to items that I physically consume. I don't think of myself as a really particular purchaser, but in those cases I am. I could care less what clothes I put on my body, what shoes I buy, the bag, the coat, the car. I don't care about any of that stuff. When it comes to home decor, I fucking care. When it comes to food in the fridge, food in the pantry, food in my body, medicine in my body, I fucking care, and I can appreciate and tell a difference. I crave cereal that is totally no frills and tastes the same. I want that find. I think of Trader Joe's as generic. I think of everything in Trader Joe's as being generic. So if you can find something at Trader Joe's, that means you found the generic equivalent to, like, we get freezer pizza from Trader Joe's because they have one that you can stand and keep in your freezer, and then you always have it. But everything in there is fucking weird.
What's the brother? What's the brand name
Aldi.
to the? No, what's the brand name to the freezer pizza that you are?
Oh. You know about Trader Joe's and Aldi. That it was, they were each formed by
they're
brothers. That's
they're
what I was thought you were going to. We get one that's like a big, long, I don't know the name, but I can describe the color of the box. It's a big, long, oversized, flat, red box where the pizza itself looks like a cookie pan, like a sheet pan. It's a large rectangle.
Like the Red Baron or something like that?
No. At Trader Joe's, it is. I don't know. There is no equivalent in the supermarket. It's not
that's what I was asking. What is the brand name that you are knocking off by going to Trader Joe's?
They just had one that we thought looked acceptable, and in surprise, it does. It does.
It does the job.
It does the job.
It is the vehicle of getting the carb and the cheese into your face.
The burrata at Trader Joe's is better than any of the burrata that you would get at a commercial supermarket. It absolutely is better.
Dear listener, thank you very much for listening. I've got to go. I will be at Trader Joe's if you need me. You know what? Opened right next to Trader Joe's by us.
What?
Crumble cookie. Do you have that?
Oh,
yeah.
We do.
So you know.
We do. But I don't live
we
in.
talked about this.
I don't live and die by it the way that you do. I should, based on the way that I look and my body shape. But
so let's talk about that for a second, because you were kind enough to throw your insecurities up on our board for this week. You have a trip coming up shortly, and I guess you didn't know about it that far in advance?
No, this is a surprise thing for work. So I am, as of Thursday, is there any way that you could join me at this week-long thing in Dallas, Monday to Friday? And I looked at the things that I had on the schedule for that week, moved a few around, and I said, yeah, I think I can make that work. The world of remote work. We can do things quickly. So off I go.
You're traveling, and when traveling comes packing a bag, and you are struggling. Tell me about your struggle.
It's another one of these where I just want to get credit because I understand that I don't experience packing like everyone else on the planet. It's so much harder for me, and there's no way other than elaborating why it's so much harder, and it's sort of an embarrassment. I can't pack a bag. Anytime I need to pack, I can't pack it quickly because I don't have clothes that fit me that can go in it. So when I'm going somewhere, the stress is not physically packing the bag. I feel like no one likes packing because you have to think through and organize your thoughts and clothes and needs for the next X number of days and environments and requirements. That takes some effort, some planning.
Right. That's morning sessions, lunch, whatever. Okay, evening attire. I need shoes for that. I need that. Yeah,
cross-reference that with what do I feel I might need? What am I comfortable not having if I do need? And then there's all these trickle-down decisions that are all hanging in that universe. So it's decision based on this and that and that. None of it's guaranteed. You have no way to guarantee what's going to happen. So all of it is a predictive guess. That adds to
you're in a sliding scale constantly.
So now you're making hypothetical decisions about your needs and your response to those needs. I don't have a solution. There is no dress. There are no pants. There are no shoes. There are no underwear. My bra has a broken clasp, the one that's comfortable if I have to wear it for 19 hours. All of the fucking things. And P.S. kids, you don't get to just walk out to the unbroken clasp bra store and find one that fits me. These things have to be special ordered, fitted by some weird person grabbing your tits. It's a whole deal. So even if I do have time, this is what happened when I was going to Italy and I stressed out for 2 fucking months and decided on some subconscious level to just eat my way out of the problem, making myself bigger. So I've got menopause. My response to, I don't know what to do here, stress is to eat. and menopause weight gain, those two things on overdrive, I'm bigger than I've ever been. I have no clothes. And so yesterday was, let's do a marathon shop and wander into stores and hope they have a solution for me on the rack. And P.S. afterward, I'm going to walk across this fucking footbridge and take a picture of two imbeciles who don't know how to do it without dropping their phone into the water. So that's just fun. Then you get into the scenario of, okay, let's say I make it through the packing. Then I have to move through the world in a body that doesn't fit in it. So I don't fit in airline seats. I mean, I fit in the airline seat, but I don't fit comfortably with the seatbelt around me. Some of them, if it gets twisted under the seat,
you'll lose a leg.
It's 2 inches too short and I can't get it around me. So I have to ask for a fucking extender. I know people who are bigger than me that don't ask for extenders. It must be my ass size. Something, I need the extender. So that's a fun little humiliation that I get to do. Then I'm huffing and sweating trying to make it all the way through. Then I'm fitting in a yuba in the back, which the seats are always too fucking... Anyway, so then I finally get there. And now I think, okay, I'm just moving on. I'm just going to move on. I'm going to put on this outfit that I've always had. I'm going to wear it up to the podium because I know it makes me feel like $1,000,000. I put it on. I look at myself full face front in the mirror in the hotel. And I am hot sauce. I am a world beater. I go strutting out of this fucking thing. I get in the elevator. I press the button. I look to the side in the elevator and I think, who the fuck is that? Because the profile view is a totally different human than the full face, beautifully lit, perfectly magical hotel bathroom mirror. So why are all the mirrors not the hotel bathroom mirror?
And why aren't we having this convention in my bathroom?
Now you're talking.
Right?
Now
Bring
you're
them all
talking.
in. This is where I look best. Today's breakout group
I just
is in
don't
room
understand.
312.
I just don't understand how the side view is of a different person than the one I really am. Like the person inside absolutely bears no resemblance to the person on the outside.
Well, that was
Or
where
on
I
the
was going. physical
side, on the physical profile. I got three persons. I got the inside person, which is the real person. I got the front person, which sometimes could make it, could be okay. And then I got the profile person, or God help you, the back, which fortunately I've never seen. Yeah, I don't want. You're not part of me. Get out of here. You're like the pedophiles. We have exited you from the group. Get lost. I don't want you, profile view or person. It's just it's so weird. It's so weird to face. I have to throw shit in a bag and realize, oh, but what shit could I throw in there? I'm like Ethan getting his holiday photo. Oh, we're getting a holiday photo? I'm going to show up bare-chested wearing a thong.
Yeah. Underpants. That's all I got. Underpants.
Yeah. And in his case, it's not because he can't physically find or fit into anything. I got so much money to throw at this problem. You know what I need to do? Yeah, I need to lose the weight, but I won't do it.
Pretty woman this situation.
I won't do it though. And now I'm looking at, okay, well maybe I could get some custom clothes made. Are you fucking kidding? My body changes shape so frequently. Not even shoes are reliable anymore. Not even shoes are reliable.
Really?
Yes, they're not reliable. I'm in multiple sizes of shoes.
You're a shapeshifter.
Nothing is reliable anymore. And it's disorienting. And the alternative is I can, eat 1,200 calories a day and exercise an hour a day every day for the rest of my life and be incredibly focused on things. And I feel great, but I also put all of my effort and energy into that. The pendulum.
So there is nothing
I'm in
else.
the middle. I'm in the middle and the pendulum has stopped swinging. And the middle is not where I want to be. I don't get it. It's like I'm living in two different bodies. My brain body and my body body.
Body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. You are or are not setting expectations for yourself.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I have so many expectations.
You would know if you had expectations that you were not living up to, because then you would be failing yourself, and I know how that feels every day. So.
No, because I heard your question in a different way. Yeah, I have failed every expectation. We're back to that over my head 6'5" pull-up bar. That's where the least of my expectations live, and they go up from there. Yeah, they're on the penthouse, and I can't even press the elevator button. That's expectations in me. My point is, I have for the past 2.5 years found myself in the strangest moment of my life, and I can't seem to shake out of it. I just seem to keep trying paths to get out and making it worse. And that is, I thought we're going to remove expectations. when the great pandemic and the world life changing of 2020 happened, one of the ways that I could attempt to get through it and still be alive was to say, there's no more expectations anymore. The whole world has changed them, and you're going to change with it. So expectations be gone. Okay. So that expectations include things like deadlines, scheduling, responsibilities, flexibility, consequences for failure. All these things completely went out the door and became something else. And they weren't replaced with anything. You've heard of this, not the great resignation, silent quitting, quiet quitting. You've heard of quiet quitting?
Yeah.
Okay. So quiet quitting is the new workplace where it's stop giving everything to the employer and the job. Go in and do the bare minimum because your life is bigger than this moment. Who in their right mind? So that's the pervasive attitude in the world today. When you go and buy a turkey sandwich and it's $11.25 for a turkey sandwich that is terrible, and you pay it and you leave a tip because that's the world we live in today. There's so many things that don't make any sense, and they all happened very rapidly. And I did the same thing almost wantonly to my body. So when you say, what about expectations are you setting them? I've been working hard to say, remove the expectation that you're going to have a healthy body. Remove the expectation that you're going to do, this or that or the other, because it was this also the idea of somehow prioritizing relief and mental health and
self-care, right?
And self-care, because I didn't really know what self-care was. So I've swung too far in the other direction. So now it's this idea of doing nothing doesn't feel great, but I have the flexibility to do nothing all day long every day, to do whatever I want all day long every day. And it's not getting me what it promised. Retirement is not getting me the joy that was promised. I just use the word retirement as the euphemism for what would you do if you had complete control over all of your time and responsibilities and 100% funding for every endeavor you attempted, otherwise known as, what would you do if your life was exactly the same as it is right now, Melissa? Because that's how Amy's life is. Okay, what are you going to do? Bing! And the answer is, I'm going to sit on the couch and eat whatever I want and sleep whenever I want and see my friends and travel whenever I want, and my body is going to turn into a giant aching mass of not goodness. If I get to do whatever I want, where's the equals joy? Doing whatever I want now magically has to include self-discipline, and I'm going to ration my food, and I cannot, and also do whatever you want should equal joy. And I feel like that promise was a lie. So
I want to know who told you to do whatever you want. Because
me.
Oh, because that's not a real thing.
It is
not
though.
If you. It's not though, because and you're in the middle of it. It's not a real thing because so you're asking me if you had unlimited. That's where I am right now.
I know you are. I'm in the same
Missy's
place.
Third act, but so I'm trying to find that thing that makes me feel like I am both adding to society, enjoying what I'm looking for
inventing
the
a dream,
perfect unicorn. Right?
I have to invent a dream now because all the other dreams were like, yeah, I kind of don't fucking want to do that. It felt like a dream, but I don't want to write this book because I haven't written it yet. And P.S. even with all this time, now I don't want to. This whole cooking show thing, I kind of don't even want to do that because it requires me to do it. So maybe it's not. Well, keep talking. I'm interrupting you and same situation.
So I'm in the situation you are, but apathy came with body size also. So I'm like, all right, what do I give a fuck about? Let's start at that very low bar. What do I care about? I care about my family. I'm getting them out this week. Then it's going to be just me. I guess I'm going to start volunteering again because I want to feel like I'm adding to something. I want to feel like I'm contributing to something that I care about. It's a hunt. Pick one thing. Cut up your losses into doable doses. Take tiny bites. Do one thing at a time. Once you hit I'm on the couch with a bag of cheese curls, do you know how hard it is to get up from the couch covered in cheese dust?
I have the extender lap belt linking me to my own couch.
See? You stroke too. This is the stroke episode. The musical stroke episode.
The couch. I'm
the
on the couch. I'm on the couch, Melissa, and I can't get off. And I'm having a stroke because I ate too many Cheetos. And I don't even eat the fucking. Actually, I do like the white the white cheddar Cheetos, the ones that are naturals, because they don't make your fingers gross, and they still taste nice, and they're light and fun, delicious. They're from Cheetos proper, so they're good.
Whole bag. I thought there would be some left in that bag when I came downstairs. My daughter
feel
said
like
to me.
it's one more promise in which I was jilted, because the promise of do whatever you want, embrace comfort, feel joy. Well, I do whatever I want, and I embrace comfort, and the joy is not there.
You jilted yourself.
Those Cheetos bring me no joy. What are you acting like you knew this already? You don't fucking know.
You jilted yourself. You are the only one who made you that promise. I don't know why you think that's a promise.
You don't think do whatever you want equals joy? You don't believe that fundamentally as a promise statement?
I do not. I believe do whatever you want has you in the Wall-E situation, in a moving wheelchair, drinking milkshakes all day.
Joy. I'm sorry. When you go on vacation, do you do whatever you want? It equals joy.
No.
That's a liar. That's a liar, folk your tove. That's a liar.
Folk your tove.
Folk your tove. That's a liar. Okay? Go on vacation, do whatever you want, equals joy. That is, frankly, the Webster definition of a fucking vacation. Do whatever you want equals joy.
That's not at all for me, because if I ate whatever I wanted, I would be sick the next day. It's just not. I know my limits, sort of, and I push them every time. Sometimes I go past, but I don't think that it's just like saying sit at the buffet. Isn't that just everything you want? Yep. And I can. So I'm
having a midlife binge drink, is what you're telling me. Now we're talking about comparisons and analogies I can understand. You're telling me I'm on a bender.
Correct.
Because this is my first ever bender
opportunity.
I have never had a hangover or a bender I was unable to exit from. That felt scary and not where I want to be. So the reality is, once you go through that or in the midst of it, you think, I don't want to be permanently on
drunk.
A bender.
Right.
Yeah. And I certainly don't want bender aftermath, because bender is not that fun. And or the aftermath is so much worse that it kills the fun of the bender.
The joy of it, right?
I haven't had one of those yet. But yeah. Okay. Now I can understand. But fuck you. Now I'm back to balance. Balance can suck a dick. Can I say it?
Balance is the only way to live. I'm sorry.
So sick of this shit.
My husband's going through it right now because his knees hurt, and he's trying to figure out a way to get back to a healthier lifestyle because you're not in pain. That's really it's going to take for you. Like walking by a mirror and catching a glimpse, you're disappointed in yourself. And when you're disappointed in yourself, personally, I tend to eat. So if that's how you're going to cope, like I do with that, it's not going to help. But when you are wanting to support yourself,
I've gained 35 pounds in 6 months. That's welcome to menopause since January of this year.
Fuck.
It's overwhelming. It felt, I've told you before, it was like, do I have a tumor? Like my body just decided, okay, now, and I didn't do anything drastically different.
Right.
I didn't do a dozen donuts for breakfast. I'm telling you.
Oh my God, my left tit for a dozen donuts for breakfast.
I'm telling you, I did mild overeating at each meal. Mild. This is the kind of thing that at the end of the year, I would have expected to have gained 10 pounds and been like, fuck, right? 35 pounds, give or take, in 6 months. It's overwhelming and it's unhappy making. So the reality is, it's also, do what you want equals joy. Come on, fuckers.
I don't do what you want in my head is trouble. I don't think that's equals joy. I have a very different narrative.
Well, what's joy for you?
Well, if I want to sit on the couch and get high and eat a bag of smart food and do,
I'm going to do what you want. Yeah.
I'm going to wind up feeling sick. I'm going to wind up feeling like not adding on. Like I'm just going to be miserable. Let's take you're drinking. Let's take our friend Annie drinking. Do you think the next day after she had her tit out on a table, A, hearing stories about herself, B, feeling all of her joints hurt and be miserable, and C, I ate what last night? Like none of that next day is joy. You're talking about in the minute of joy. You're talking about in the moment. And for those of us who aren't toddlers, we see past the minute that we're in, and we know.
Before you got insulting, I did mean that. I was just going to let you roll because I interrupt you all the time. I'm not talking about in the minute of joy. I'm talking about a concept of life.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a mindset, an attitude.
I'm going to spend my days
platform,
outside.
A platform belief that, here is how I approach my life, right? Do what you want, period. That means joy. That's the whole world believes this, that having the freedom, the flexibility. So maybe it's just defining better the first part of it, do what you want. But I also fundamentally now am saying that's a lie. That when you truly do what you want, it doesn't bring joy. So the only thing I'm asking you right now is
I think it's momentary joy.
What is joy from a approach to life perspective? Not an approach to this hour, to this week, to this vacation. What equals joy for you? Is it fucking balance? Because if balance is joy, I'm going to go knock some people right.
I don't think balance is joy, because in the definition of balance, you're balancing joy with not joy. Joy
everything
with
in
what
moderation,
you should do,
including
right?
moderation. That's my motto, right? So go off the rails from time to time. Everything in moderation.
I applaud that. I agree with that.
Including moderation. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I
still,
feel
that's not a life mantra. That's just like that's the
asking,
fucking rule book. I'm asking joy. How do we get to
joy?
How do we get to joy?
I think making a list right now of things that bring you joy and putting that one of those in every day. I think I don't mean to be insulting when I say I'm not a toddler, because I eat like a toddler, so I might as well be. But to understand at its basic core that joy is something that can be part of your day. It's id living. It is a toddler living to think that all day, every day is joy. That's not a realistic aspect of life. That's not a realistic attitude to approach every day with, because you have children, responsibilities, you have a body that you need to take you through life, to your job, to your convention, to your next plate, which I stare at the clock until noon every day and wait to eat. Joy is a wonderful concept. It's not permeating everything, because that's not realistic. And if you find a way,
I disagree, though. I disagree, and I feel like I'm cycling through definitions to the path to joy, and the first didn't work, and the second didn't work, and now I don't know what iteration I'm on now. And the first being purpose equals joy. Well, I don't have a purpose. So so find your purpose.
There too.
So find your purpose equals joy. All right. Well, if I don't have a purpose, and I've had people say there is no such thing as purpose. There's only because you are blind to your true purpose. There's only action. Do what you're meant to. As you continue doing what you do best, the world will experience you as what you're meant to do. Like the impact will come, and you don't have to know what it is to be doing it. And I'm like,
did the Dalai Lama tell you that?
He did, right?
Okay.
And then we got drunk and went on a 2-day bender, and he's fucking having joy.
And
so
he's fine.
Purpose equals joy. Pass.
All right, scratch
then,
that.
Okay, well, I have to find a fucking purpose. I can't find one. So then how about do what you want equals joy? Well, that doesn't really work, because then you're also in a case where even doing what you want doesn't even really bring the joy, because you're sort of sick of it. It's like, how many of these Cheetos can I eat? And P.S., the 9th Cheeto is never as good as the first Cheeto.
Oh, that first Cheeto. Are you a crunchy or an air puff or a puffy?
I have totally migrated into the puff.
I like
but
them
only
both,
those
but
naturals one. Only the naturals one, because it's a hybrid of the two. The caveman, the crunchy ones we used to call caveman logs, the crunchy, they're perfect. The other ones, who were like the circus peanuts, the like exploded ones, just regular puffy ones, they're super gross. My husband loves those, so on occasion we'll have those. I don't know, they kind of make my mouth upset. And then the ones right in the middle are the like naturals, right? It's a yellow bag instead of bright blaze orange.
Okay.
And they're puffed.
I'm going to try that.
But they're smaller and crisper, so it's a hybrid. It's like the crunchy ones and like the puffy ones, but they don't make your mouth feel like you've exploded some dust paste all around the edges and the inside of your palate.
You've got 4 men living in your house seasonally. You would have to get all 4 types of cheese, curl, doodle, crunch, natural. You'd have to get all 4 of them to make everybody happy.
And yeah, of course. Welcome.
And that gets pricey to get 4, plus the fact that they're eating a bag each pretty much by the end of the movie.
Everybody gets to buy their own bag. That's how we do it. Well, I don't go to the store anymore because I have enough drivers and I was going to say walkers. I went to ped something and I about said pedophile.
Again. This is the pedophile episode.
Ambulatory shoppers. So I send them in, and their payment is I just call it an item. You can either get 1 or 2 or 3 items at your discretion. So
depending on how badly
they'll get a bag or a thing of cookies or a whatever thing I don't normally let them get or won't buy for them otherwise. So, yep.
You don't really have to buy cookies because you bake them, and they are bomb diggity.
So purpose doesn't bring us joy. Well, if it does, you have to fucking know your purpose. You
right.
Can't
if you don't know it, I can't spend the rest of my life searching for it.
So how do I fucking find my purpose? Well, if I have to find something, I might as well be finding joy. How can I get joy? Do whatever you want. That's a lie. So what the fuck, Joy? I feel like you're the dick. No?
Joy, she misled you.
I feel like Joy.
Dear listener, how and where do you find joy? Are we on the wrong path? We need your help. How? Purpose? No. Unlimited, whatever you want? Clearly no. And I think we do know that, but we don't know the right path.
Well, I can guarantee you daily exercise, balance, and fucking meditation is not going to bring me goddamn joy. Yeah, take it as a drop, you people
Fuckers.
who cut this up and use it in your house as mantras to get me. Stop putting yourself. Look it's not happening. Eat, pray, love. Fuck you. She's not happy. She wrote
I
a second
do
book,
think
but it's not any good.
I do think that attaining perpetual joy is not an option. I do think balance that I have for myself right now does bring joy. It's just not perpetual joy. There's still shit. There's still problems. There's still I never felt cheated when when my mother told me, I see where you put your 15 pounds, and then I got on the bike and I lost that 15 pounds. I felt joy. I felt hunger. I felt joy. I felt a lot of things.
Accomplishment. Yeah.
I felt accomplished. That brought me joy in a different way. Clothes, I went and I bought the next size up for a year of clothes. I felt joy in those clothes too, by the way. But when I put on those clothes and I'm back to my original size now, I find joy in that. But it's not permeating joy. I still have a kid who's like, fuck you, I'm not taking a picture. I still have a dog who is a purebred 9-year-old who I know is going to die within the next whatever calendar. So, like, I have stresses. I have things that really upset me. First of all, I have a partner. No partnership is all joy. Like, I have children. No children are all joy. And if you come at me with my kids are joy, my relationship is all joy.
No, I'm not that Pollyanna, but I do take massive umbrage. Why can't I fucking think of any words? I do disagree with you heartily. How about that?
I say grab joy where you find it because
but
it's
I
not
think
promised to you.
I think joy is promised to you. I think joy permeates every fucking thing. I do. And that's the fucking lie. I think that there's a variety
You just said, I believe this and it's wrong. Like,
no,
what?
No. I believe that it is promised to all of us. And we fuck it up and the world gets in the way and there are things that are cock blocking the promise. I believe in the promise.
Who promised it to you?
Life itself.
Okay, that's not a human or a being that can promise anything. So
sure it is. Who keeps your heart beating?
My circulatory system. It's a closed circuit.
When did it start? How did it start?
In utero through my mother's Oh my God, are you going to make me grateful for my mother right now?
No,
Stop
fuck
it.
her. She's not involved.
Thank
I'm
you.
just saying life force. I'm just saying we are all beings of energy. And when your body stops, the energy is going to remain and become something else. That energy is energy is energy. And guess what? I feel like back to last week and weeks prior, it's all vibrating. Joy is an option. Joy is an option.
And I think it's an aspect of things. It's part of. It is not. It can't be you would just be all id walking around naked, grabbing shit, putting it in your parts. Like it's not realistic. And you're only setting yourself up to be disappointed if joy is the permeating feeling you're looking to find. It is absolutely attainable in aspects and in parts and pieces. But as a general flood that washes over you, that becomes who I'm joy. I feel like it's a choice you make every day to find it where you can.
Okay, I don't agree with you, but let's come over to your side of the aisle for the moment. How do we expand it? Even if joy is promised in fits and starts, can't they be larger buckets of time? Do I have to be covered with red ants learning to drive a stick shift with my angry husband all the time? No, I want to have.
For me, the joy came going to the restaurant 99 and eating crackers and cheese and popcorn after that stressful thing, and then I mean, no, there is no joy in learning to drive a stick. There's fear, and there's some fear. But why does joy have to be in everything? Aren't there things you just need to do, get them out of the way to get back to things that are joyful?
I don't want to get too flappy here at the minute 45 minute that we're recording. But my point to you is, aren't you simply inventing an alternative construct to the one I propose? Instead of saying joy is an option all the time. And you're saying, no, it's not. Why? Because I've decided joy can't be an option all the time.
Well, because
responsibility has to be an option.
Responsibility has to be an option. And that's never joyful for me. You're responsible to other people. You're responsible to, I don't know, the fucking government for some things. You're responsible to your neighborhood for cleaning. I don't find joy in pulling weeds. But if I let them go too long and the neighbors are like, what the fuck is wrong with your trailer? There's no joy in that for me. It's fucking hot and sweaty. Are there people who find joy in pulling weeds? Yeah, there are. I'm not one of them. And until I find joy in menial bullshit, I'm not going to be all joy. And I want you desperately to find joy more than you do.
The fundamental question, to use your analogy, the fundamental question that I'm asking, the operating system that is failing me at the moment because I don't understand it, is I see the pulling weeds as you have some choices. Pulling weeds is never joyful. Okay, so the choice is
hire someone
finding joy in pulling weeds, or finding joy because you never have to pull weeds. I'm sure there are other options too, but those are the two largest that come to mind, right?
So there you are in the elevator, catching a glimpse of yourself that doesn't make you happy. And instead of saying, look, I'm out, my heart is beating, and finding joy in the fact that, so you can find joy places where I cannot. So I can see why you are diametrically opposed hoes.
Yeah.
I could see why you see, I was promised this and I don't have it. But it sounds to me like you could think your way into finding joy in that. I cannot, but I understand that I'm not going to find joy in everything. You want joy to permeate, then you need to use the think system from the music.
Well, that's the third. Now you're doing the third option, which I can't get my head around, which is, there are no weeds that need to be pulled, right? So it's like the task itself is the problem. It's either your approach to the task, it's delegating the task, or removing the task as a task, right? So welcome to Amy packing for a trip. Like, I spend a lot of time thinking about shit.
Yeah. I just go into it thinking this is not going to be joyful. And if I find joy in an aspect of it, I'm like, that was a win. I don't actually think about joy all that much, to be honest, until this podcast. I don't really think about joy until after something happens. And I think, that was joyful. When I reflect upon it. I think
about joy 10 minutes out of every hour of every day, including during sleep, and probably more when I'm sleeping. I'm
Dear
always
listener,
thinking about
how
joy.
often do you think about joy?
Always.
I'm so curious. And what portion of your day do you spend trying to achieve that joy? Because I'm
87%.
Wow.
Yeah. Of the conscious thought. And I would venture to say 99% of the subconscious. And I'm, trying.
I think
to get it to
87%. I'm thinking, how do I get this done so that I could sit and give myself 7 minutes of TikTok? How can I? The dog.
Maybe that's the answer. TikTok equals joy. It could have been that simple. Thank you, Chinese. It could have been that simple.
Thank you for gathering all of my data.
Hey, P.S. Just a quick thing about TikTok, which I'm sure you already know. If ever you are tempted to make a purchase within TikTok, when you're on TikTok and you see a link in someone's bio, however they refer to that in TikTok, when you click it and follow it, and then you decide to make that purchase and you enter in your purchase information, including with autofill, TikTok has access to all of the content you type. So now you have just given them your credit card information and your home address. TikTok, not just the person you're buying from.
The nation of China now has.
So maybe just don't buy shit on TikTok, gang. Follow that URL some other way.
Other way.
Leave the app, right? Copy that link and leave the app, and then go make your purchase. And get swindled just from the one person, not the whole.
Not a nation.
Not all of China. Okay.
Gina.
And with that.
Dear listeners, thank you so much for coming out. I feel like there's so much more to be said. I don't know why we get shallow at the beginning, deep at the end, and then just leave you hanging. We love you.
Wow, more dick jokes.
We just the tip. We love you.
Dick is joy.
Boker Tov.
Bye. Well, I can guarantee you daily exercise, balance, and fucking meditation is not going to bring me goddamn joy.